Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the highly anticipated Resident Evil 4. More specifically, we'll be taking a look at the gameplay, story, puzzles, graphics, and my overall thoughts. I will be reviewing this game as the remake only, as I have never played the original Resident Evil 4. But regardless of that, I do hope you enjoy. Feel free to comment what you liked most about the game down below. To start us off, the gameplay for Resident Evil 4 is so much fun. I was so invested in the combat from the start. The ability to parry was fun because as a regular Dark Souls enjoyer, I love being able to parry in combat. The blasting of heads with a wide array of weapons was also super exciting. I typically use the Red 9 Stingray, Riot Gun, and TMP for majority of my first playthrough, although as soon as the LE5 was unlocked, I began to use that one way more. I had fun with just about every single weapon in this game, although I didn't use the magnums very much. However, Leon's ability to do a roundhouse kick was also a super fun time. I really enjoyed that. It reminded me of the Family Guy gag where Peter does the roadhouse kick.
Here's your burger, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I need another $1.25.
Is that right? Keep the change. Roadhouse.
The ability to sneak up on enemies and covertly assassinate them was also fun. Although the stealth mechanic was very buggy in terms of consistency, I found that enemies would still see you regardless, even if it was a hard sightline for them. But I heard in the original you were just a walking powerhouse and ammo was never an issue, so I can see why stealth isn't super polished here. Lastly, the companion system. It worked great, and I heard it was a drastically better change when compared to the original, at least according to chat. Now, you don't have to keep watch on Ashley's health, and the stay command from the original has turned into a hide, follow close, or follow far command. And I used the follow close command almost through my entire playthrough and found that one to be the best one almost at all times. I thoroughly love the gameplay here and can't wait to continue forward for the Platinum Trophy. If you want to join me for those achievement hunt playthroughs, I'll be streaming it live on my Twitch. As for the story was also very intriguing, and I found it far more enthusing than Resident Evil 7 and 8. It's fun, it's campy, and it's very self-aware. Leon delivers some fun one-liners like an 80s action movie, while Ashley feels like a college girl seeing all of this stuff for the first time, which is rightfully so. In fact, I made a lot of similarities during my streams of this game with how alike John Wick and Leon resemble each other. Only one fights the underground baddies, and the other one fights parasite-infested baddies. Maybe that's just because I just seen John Wick 4, and it's still fresh on my mind. But regardless, the story takes you to 3 different, very large-scale maps, which are content-rich and really beautiful looking in terms of atmosphere and art direction. They really nailed the entirety of what you were supposed to feel while playing in and through them. The story takes multiple turns, and you meet multiple characters and some returning characters, like Ada. Overall, the story is just a fun adventure through a troubled land ruled by a crazy dictator-like preacher. Nobody in the story felt out of place, and I also believe from what chat was telling me while playing was that Luis was actually given more screen time and love, and his character arc actually pays off in a cool way regarding the key he gives you. I found that really cool. He seemed like a character working for his redemption, and I enjoyed that. As for the puzzles in this game are very familiar to Resident Evil 8, where they aren't very hard, but they're not trivial either. At least some of them aren't. So they'll make you think, but not by a huge margin, and they certainly are not difficult enough to keep you strung up for a while by trying to figure them out. However, they were fun and kept the pacing refreshing. Most of the game's formula is cutscene, action or downtime with some story dialogue, puzzles and collectathon, then action, then cutscene again. And I think they really struck a perfect balance between all of these traits to the overall game. It never felt boring, and it always felt evenly cared for. Lastly, as for the graphics, the visuals in this game were absolutely stunning, and I loved every area I was in, whether it be the opening village, the lake, the castle, the dungeon, the liquid nitrogen room, the keycard override room, which had one of the most high-quality scares or tension builders I have seen in a very long time, especially within a video game, with a certain regenerator, or however you pronounce that, through a window, or even on the dark, desolate island far off from the castle and village. Every area was spectacular looking, and the fidelity was buttery smooth. I never had a freeze frame or a glitch regarding the visuals once. The game ran like butter. The only things I didn't like about this game, or that I think could have been changed or added, were very minimal, but I do have to discuss my thoughts. The first thing being a dedicated combat role. I felt that there were so many fights and boss fights where I felt the utilization of a Dark Souls-like combat role would have been very beneficial and wouldn't have broken the gameplay at all. Instead, we occasionally get a quick time dodge mechanic, which was nice to have, but I wasn't nearly a fan when compared to a dedicated button. I could use it any time. In addition, the shooting range should have been lightened up a little bit. I feel they were far too competitively made, and I spent too much time in them. Granted, I was getting the achievement for getting all S-rank ranges, but even still, I felt a couple of them were a bit too much. However, out of the entire 20-hour game experience I had, those were the only two complaints I really had. Overall, this game is highly enjoyable. I will be running through it multiple times for those achievements, as I feel the game earned my extra time to do those things with the amount of quality it has to offer. I am super impressed and I really enjoyed it. I don't normally use a scale, but in this case I would give it a 95%. I would highly recommend this game to anyone either familiar or unfamiliar with the Resident Evil franchise. It was truly a great use of $60, and if you can get it on a discount, that's even better, and I would argue a borderline steal. However, that will wrap up my thoughts and review on Resident Evil 4. I hope you enjoyed the video and could relate to it a little bit. What were your favorite moments? What were your favorite guns? What were your favorite set pieces? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.